Welcome back, baseball fans, to the 1971-74 elimination video for the Arizona Diamondbacks. Tough year. Last year they were 21-22. Just missed out getting to the third round of the postseason. This year they got to within a half a game for a few minutes of the division title, and they faded hard at the end. And once again, another lost season in Arizona. They have some interesting batting performances at the top there. Brock Davis and Dave May each had 54 hits, which is at the top of the ranks of in most of the league. Brock Davis, though, was 52 singles and a couple doubles, which is a little disappointing, I suppose. Dave May had a nice year, got an all-star snub. Javier Retman did okay as well. Of the regulars, Breeden was a little disappointing, as was Stevie Ray Braun, a guy known for on-base percentage. He had a 309 on base with a 211 average. So it added up to a 272 average for this team that is based on batting average, and that's good, but it really needs to be better if this team wants to go places. 28 homers is in the middle of the pack as well, 12 stolen bases. It's just a slightly above average offense in a league that you need more than that to make the playoffs. Pitching wise, Pizarro went to the All-Star game with a 2.14 ERA and a 5-3 record. Jeff Zahn and Dick Bainey did very good work in the pen. It's funny, the closer was Daryl Knowles, who had a 4.42 ERA, and he lost the final game of the season for him. Reggie Cleveland's the only guy on this team who can pitch on 3 days rest, so he has 80 innings. We also got Pizarro in there as much as we possibly could. He can only pitch on 4 days rest. Beyond that, though, Steve Stone struggled in his rookie card. Pat Jarvis was a waiver claim. Jim Willoughby's really good about getting lefties out, but not against righties. It all adds up to another year of disappointment for the Arizona Diamondbacks, who, frankly, from the 4 teams in the Mountain Time Zone, normally, when I do the individual season expansion drafts, Arizona usually gets first crack. I don't know why I did that, but I've always done that one. I think the alphabet had a lot to do with it. It was Arizona, Colorado, Las Vegas, and Portland, and so I did it in alphabetical order. So there you go. And Arizona, being the first cookie in the cookie jar, just didn't work. I mean, they haven't done anything in my carryover league. So let's take a look now at the Arizona stack of cards. We're going to pull out the 71 players and take a peek at the 72 guys that are coming back. And you know what? The thing is, and in all these expansion teams, you never know you're going to get year to year, because you never know which of those expansion cards that defied that were statistical anomalies is on your roster, and then it leaves the roster. So sometimes you get one of those guys, and sometimes you lose those guys. The guys on the edge of the stat plane there. This team is going to bring back 7 and 5. So that's the split you want if you don't want too many needs from pitching or hitting. A 7 and 5 split's pretty balanced. So they got a catching platoon of Herman and Plummer, which is fine. They have a decent first baseman who can't field very well, but he can nearly hit. Hal Breeden, more suited to be DH, I suppose. And then we have one infielder, Dale Maxwell, slated to play short. And again, for his glove, okay against lefties, bad against righties. But again, you can find somebody to platoon with him if you want, but okay for an expansion team. And in the outfield, these are those 2 guys' cards that had combined for 108 hits. Brock Davis, you see, that's why he didn't have any extra base hits, all singles. 318 batting average, remember? They traded for Dave May, who played for the Seattle Mariners for a bit. His best year, really, was a Brewer in '73, but now he's going to stay here. So these two guys are going to run their contracts out in 72 and 73. And Roger Freed has a really good 1977. We really can't get to it, though. We're still 5 years out. So we can't get to that 77 Roger Freed card yet. And for the pitching, you see, there's Reggie Cleveland, the ace. He can pitch on 3 days rest. You could move Zahn in the rotation. You see Pizarro is gone. So you could move Zahn into the rotation. Willoughby's already there. And Stone's there. And they're starter eights. So that wouldn't be a bad rotation. You would just need a swing starter. Bainey's a pure reliever. So you would need a swing starter. That could be Juan Pizarro again, if he still continues. Or any swing starter would work. But you do need two of your pitchers. 2 of the 3 pitchers you need to be left-handed. So that's the needs for the Arizona Diamondbacks. So now let's take a peek and see what do these Arizona Diamondbacks do with the 8 guys that are leaving. Okay, baseball fans, let's see what Arizona does with these 8 gems from 71 they have. Beginning with Stevie Ray Braun. Beginning of his career with the Twins, left-handed hitting third baseman. I'd get him to play every day if you could. It didn't really work out for him to play every day, though. He started well. Look at the games played. Look at the at-bats. Actually, all the way through 77. But then he became a pinch hitter after that. And but we still have him here. Just getting started in 71. We've got 72, 3, 4, and 5. All of the Twins, all good years, including a 302 year here. This is a prize. This is a backbone foundational player that the Twins don't have, and Arizona does have. The Twins, you know, as third base, they would have gone from Killebrew to Soderholm anyway, and then he's all over defensively, all over the map here. So they have other options. The Twins have some, they're pretty rich farm system. They have other options. So it's good that the Arizona team can find this guy to be a foundational player. So let's make him a keeper. Gets $10,000 for that. All right, next up, Julian Javier. They got him off of waivers. He was part of the Ted Sizemore trade from the Dodgers and the Cardinals. And we can tell you that he's got 1 more year in 72. Does he have any stats in that year? Well, he's got 91 at-bats with Cincinnati. Did they make his card? You can't put a guy on waivers unless they made his card. Does he have a 72 Reds card? So I'm going to go to the roster sheet from Gary's roster page for 72. I'm going to see if Cincinnati has Mr. Javier at either on their roster or as an extra player. And he's not listed there. Did they make an extra player card for Julian Javier? And the answer is no, they did not. Which is a shame, which means I have to retire Julian Javier. So he goes into the retirement list. He gets $1 for that. 1 down. Next guy, Dalton Jones. He's had a career that's probably winding down as well. He was with Boston, with Detroit. 64 to 72. He's got a Red Sox hat there. Boston, Detroit. A stint with Texas in 72. 158 plate appearances in 72 with Detroit and Texas. Let's see if that card exists. We can give it waivers. We need a card from Strat-O-Matic for Dalton Jones. Check the Tigers. We have to check the Tigers, Texas, and both extra players. Here's the Tigers. No Dalton Jones there. Texas was the other team. D. Jones. Okay. So he gets waivers. That keeps him off the retirement list. He probably should be on the retirement list. So we have to get enough. We have to get 64 guys on the waiver wire. So if we have too many guys on waivers, not enough guys on retirement, we'll push these Dalton Jones from here over to here. So he is the waivered guy. He's the Parge that Goldilocks ate. He's $100. So you see, Braun's 10,000, Jones is 100, and Javier's 1. How that works? Keep, waive, and retire. Next up is Merv Retman. And for Merv, it's going to be a drop-off. That's okay. He's still a foundational, fundamentally good player. Not a lot of Mervs. Here he is, all the way to 1980 for Merv. But the big years are now officially behind him. 70 and 71. And let's take a moment to honor Merv's brilliance in 1970 and 71. 2 World Series performances for Baltimore, hitting .322 and .318, getting 19th MVP votes. Now reality sets in. He's 29 years old, and he doesn't do a whole lot. In this segment, top year is .262 and .789 and .73 with Baltimore. And he ends up in the National League as a utility player. He has a nice 77. 877 OPS and 77. We're not there yet. 78 is almost 800. I think we're going to keep him, though. Let's just keep Merv. He's around. He's a good on-base guy. Chances are he's at least has a good platoon card. He's probably good against lefties in one of these years. And the 73 card looks like statistically the best one. So we're going to keep Merv. And if we can find guys better than Merv Retman, that's great too. We can put him on waivers then. I'm going to put it in my notes, 73. It's a shortcut to look at that particular year and ignore the rest, it would seem. Next guy, one of the funner names to pronounce, Ted Eulander. No, Eulander, the pilots argued and taxied on the runway. Ted Eulander. Here he is, a twin, also with the Reds, known for good range. Not much power, 11 homers and 70 with Cleveland. Some nice averages in there, 283, 288. This was his top year, 288 we just used. 500 at-bats. In 72, he's still with the Reds. Does this card get waivers? In 72 for the Reds. Let's go back to them. I think I saw it, if I'm not mistaken. Eulander. It's hard to miss that one. So he gets waivers in 72. Now those two guys are pretty weak. Waivered players, but for Arizona, they could care less. You don't really care who your waivered players are. You put them on waivers. They're not your property anymore. All you care about is who you're going to keep. And Braun and Retman are 2 decent hitters to keep. Now the pitching. 3 dudes. Beginning with their all-star, Juan Pizarro. Pizarro, nice little lefty here. Or is he a big lefty? I can't remember. No little lefty. 5'11", 170. Juan Pizarro there. He's got a Sox hat on. And he was from the 50s. Milwaukee Brave, for Pete's sakes. But he's still digging it in his late 30s here. So we used his 71 card. It had a 3.48 ERA in 101 innings. And that got into the All-Star game, folks. Look at the whip. $1.16. That made the All-Star team. Now it gets nasty. 72 and 73 are not very kind to Juan. The whips are $1.06 and $1.07. 74, only 24 innings for the Pirates. Can I get him on waivers in 72 with either the Cubs or the Cubs? Yes. Yeah. 72 Cubs, can I get him on waivers? 72 Cubs. I don't think so. Let's look up here. 72 Cubs. No, sir. He's not a 72 Cub, according to Strat-O-Matic. Let's see. Their lefties would have been Dan McGinn, who was awful. That's the only lefty That's the only left-handed pitcher they had in there. And their extra player pitchers would have been nobody. They had one left-handed pitcher in the entire 24-man roster for the Cubs. Well, that doesn't help very much, does it? It's the National League, right? Yeah. Chicago Cubs. So in 72, he pitched 59 innings, and they didn't make a Strat-O-Matic card. That's a shame. I got to retire him. I can retire him, but he could theoretically come out of retirement, but I doubt Strat printed his cards in the future years as well. This could be the very end of Juan Pizarro. He is now on retirement at $1. All right, now hopefully we get some more keepers. If we don't, Arizona has to get on the clock and find guys. Pat Jarvis. He had a nice year with Atlanta. I think it was 70. And then he started to fall off a little bit. From 66 to 73, he's still active. 71 Jarvis card was just used. 4.10 ERA and 162 innings. Does the same thing a year later in 98 innings. And then 73 with Montreal. So it's not glamorous, but it's definitely workable. I mean, surely the Atlanta card exists. Let's go check Atlanta for Pat Jarvis. There he is. I know, folks. I know. He's not the greatest, but he's Arizona's. I'm going to keep him. I know I probably shouldn't, but for now we're going to keep him. Again, if I have too many keepers, a team will, like Arizona, will make a trade, push Jarvis into waivers. But he has a chance to continue his career. Once he goes on waivers, someone will probably take a look at him, assuming he does go on waivers. And lastly, now here's a good guy, Daryl Knowles. We talked about him going to Oaktown. And you know what? If the A's come calling, you basically ask for a lot for this guy, you know? Or the Rangers come calling. You ask a lot for this dude. I mean, you're Arizona. You need all the help you can get. So he goes from Texas to Oakland to the Cubs, Texas, Montreal, St. Louis. He pitches all the way here. So he's still got life left in the tank. This dude is definitely a keeper. But look what we have. We have 3 consecutive. Let's take a look at this dude's postseason pitching. He should probably get 3 rings, I'm guessing, right? Am I missing post? Here it is. Just 2 rings? What happened in 72? He's got 2 rings, but he's only pitched 6 innings. Figure that one out, folks. Dude's got 2 World Series rings, only pitched 6 innings. Did not pitch. Huh. And I don't know what happened in 72. Let's go back up here for his stats. 72, he's exclusively on Oakland. Look at that. With a 1.37 ERA, I'm going to say injury perhaps. Maybe he got hurt. Probably early in the year maybe, and never made it back to the postseason. I don't know. Anyway, this card exists. Well, that's a keeper. You don't give away guys with 1.37 ERA. And Arizona's going to keep an Oakland player. You're darn tootin'. I'm going to put him at $10,000, and I'm going to put trade in the comment section. If Oakland wants him, you got to pay the piper. And based on this configuration of 4 keepers, 2 waivers, and 2 retires, Arizona has comported to the proper math. All teams have to get down to 4 keepers, 2 waivers, and 2 retires. So Arizona does not have to do anything. They don't have to get on the phones into the off season, though they probably should, to improve their lot in life. And when we look at the year-to-date numbers here, we have 35, 21, and 16. That is 72, I believe. Right. 8 teams times 9. 9 times 8 is 72 players. So 9 times 4 is 36. It should be 36. 9 times 2 is 18. Yeah, it should be that. 36, 18, 18. Right. And it's 35, 21, 16. So there you go. So that means you have 3 waivered players here. You see this 21? You draw a line between each of the digits there. 36, 35, 18, 21, 18, 16. This basically means that there are 3 players on the waivered list. And let me just double check this number again. 9 teams have been eliminated, so 9 times 4, 9 times 2, and 9 times 2. Is that correct there? 36, 18 and 18 is 36 is 72. 35, 21, and 16 is 53. Oh, I don't have the right math here. Hang on. 56. That's 72. My bad. 35 and 21 is 56, and 16 is 72. So it means that of these 3 players on waivers above what I should have, I got to make one of those guys a keeper and 2 of those guys retired. So look again here. You see the middle number 21, and the middle number is supposed to be 18. So that's 3. So you slide 1 number to the left, make a 35 a 36, and slide 2 to the right, make a 16 and 18, and then you have the league's proper math. And the most important thing to look at is the last 2 digits. You don't want to get more than 64 guys retired. That means the waivered list will be short that number of players that you're above 64. So right now we are safe, as we are a plus, basically we're +3 in the waiver list. So that's a good situation to be in. All right, thanks for checking this out, folks. Looking behind the curtain, seeing how the league's put together roster-wise. We'll see you next time.